Stop wasting money on collagen. Your cells are caramelized. If you are spending money on collagen powders, peptide serums, or hair restoration treatments to stop the visible signs of aging. A May 2026 longevity breakthrough just revealed why those investments are delivering a fraction of the results the marketing promises. The problem is not the collagen you are consuming. The problem is the cellular environment those structural proteins are being delivered into. And that environment has been progressively compromised by one of the most common daily habits in the modern world. The process is called glycation, and it is one of the most underappreciated mechanisms of biological aging in the 2026 longevity conversation. When you consume excess sugar, your bloodstream fills with glucose molecules that are chemically reactive. Those glucose molecules seek out and bind to nearby proteins through a non-enzymatic chemical reaction. Among the proteins most vulnerable to this binding are the structural proteins that form your body's collagen architecture, and specifically an essential amino acid called glycine that makes up approximately 1/3 of all collagen in your body. When glucose binds to glycine and collagen proteins, it creates what biochemists call Advanced Glycation End-products, abbreviated AGEs. The name is apt. These compounds represent a form of molecular aging that stiffens, cross-links, and structurally compromises the proteins they affect. Imagine taking a flexible rubber band and slowly caramelizing it in a sugar solution. It starts supple and elastic. Over time, it becomes brittle, stiff, and structurally compromised. That is exactly what glycation does to the collagen matrix supporting your skin, your joints, and critically, your hair follicles. The hair thinning and graying connection is direct and measurable. Your hair follicles depend on a rich and consistent blood supply to deliver the nutrients and oxygen required to maintain the melanocyte cells that produce pigment and the structural cells that grow strong hair shafts. That blood supply travels through the microcapillary network embedded in the extracellular matrix surrounding each follicle. When glycation stiffens and cross-links that matrix, the microcapillaries lose their elasticity. Blood flow to the follicle becomes restricted. The melanocytes lose their nutrient supply. Tyrosinase activity drops. Pigment production declines. Hair thins and grays, not primarily because of genetics, but because the cellular infrastructure delivering life to the follicle has been caramelized into rigidity. The visceral fat connection adds another dimension that the 2026 research is highlighting prominently. Stubborn, visceral fat, the fat wrapped around your organs, is surrounded by the same glycated extracellular matrix. When that matrix is structurally frozen, the fat mobilization pathways embedded within it cannot operate efficiently. The fat-releasing hormonal signals arrive, but the stiffened tissue environment cannot respond normally. The fat stays locked, regardless of dietary intervention, because the structural cage around it has been caramelized into place. This is the fundamental reason that collagen supplementation so often disappoints. You are delivering high-quality structural building materials into a cellular environment that has been compromised at the biochemical level by years of glycation damage. The collagen arrives, the glycine arrives, but the existing matrix is too cross-linked and stiffened to integrate new structural proteins effectively. You are trying to renovate a building whose walls have been caramelized into concrete. The 2026 solution requires addressing glycation at the cellular level before or simultaneously with any structural supplementation. CoQ10 operates as a direct antioxidant at the cell membrane level, blocking the oxidative stress cascade that enables sugar molecules to initiate the glycation reaction with structural proteins. When CoQ10 is present at adequate concentrations in cellular membranes, it intercepts the reactive oxygen species that facilitate glucose protein binding before the cross-linking damage can occur. It is a molecular shield preventing the caramelization rather than trying to reverse it after the fact. PQQ activates mitochondrial biogenesis through the PGC1 alpha pathway, triggering the growth of new high-efficiency mitochondria in the tissue cells responsible for extracellular matrix maintenance. New mitochondria provide the ATP energy required to activate the enzymatic processes that break down glycated proteins and replace them with fresh, unmodified structural components. They power the cellular machinery that rebuilds matrix elasticity, restores microcapillary flexibility, and reopens the blood supply pathways to hair follicles and adipose tissue that glycation had progressively closed down. Mitolyn combines both in one formula built around this glycation defense and structural renewal principle. Stop trying to rebuild a caramelized foundation with more collagen. Shield the cellular environment from glycation with CoQ10 and power the structural rebuild with PQQ-triggered mitochondrial biogenesis. Give your cells the metabolic infrastructure to maintain the elastic, youthful matrix that makes collagen supplementation actually deliver on its promises. I want to be fully transparent with you. The link in my description is an affiliate link. I might earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. I only share what I genuinely think is helpful. Stop the caramelization and rebuild the matrix. Check the link in my description for the 2026 Mitolyn Structural Renewal Protocol. This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making changes to your diet or lifestyle.